Whenever I attend Nintendo conventions and I am the designated Bowser table guy, dressed as Bowser in my big, realistic, spiky shell, people often come up to me and the number one question they ask is, why is Bowser so cool? Why has he stuck in the minds of millions of people for all of these years? Well, let's explore that. First off, we have to look at Bowser's face. He always has a sort of angry look on his face, but it's not particularly an anger that is so bitter or so scornful looking that it would turn off the viewer. It is more of an anger that hints at a sort of playful side, a sort of mischievous side, even though he doesn't necessarily present himself that way up front in his personality. It's as if there's something deeper embedded in Bowser, in that angry look that he has on his face, that just draws us all in, makes us want more. We fall for his gaze every time we look at it. We also have to look at his shell, his big spiky shell. There's a reason that's what I choose to wear at the Nintendo conventions. The shell is just an amazing piece of character creation. When you see a green shell with all of those spikes in it and the way the spikes are shaped, it's just perfect. They're not too particularly sharp, they're not too jagged, but they're just, a round, sharp, straight shape that is just incredibly visually appealing. And once again, the viewer looks at Bowser and they are immediately drawn in, and they want to, they would like to ride atop that shell if it weren't for the fact that the spikes would cut into their skin if they were to do so. There are also instances where Bowser wears a top hat, and while this should not really be a great look for Bowser or for his personality or for his character overall, for some reason he is able to effortlessly pull it off, and the only reason I can think of is the fact that he has so much coolness, so much charisma, that he is just automatically able to pull off this top hat, and it just adds another layer of awesomeness to Bowser's character. The sound Bowser makes is also simply spectacular. It reminds me of a dinosaur that jumped out of a volcano. Now, in this day and age, we cannot talk about Bowser without talking about Jack Black's depiction of him in the new Mario Bros. Movie. Jack Black really leaned into the comedic aspects of Bowser. He didn't really so much lean into the intimidation factor that Bowser always has in the video games. Bowser is always a source of great intimidation, fear in the games, and the movie did have some of that, but the way Jack Black depicted him with the singing to Peach and everything did not particularly lean into that aspect, and I think that was a great loss for the entire Bowser movement. As a guy that's been handling the Nintendo convention table for Bowser for a lot of years now, I can tell you this sort of hurt, because in more recent conventions I've heard a little bit of snickering when people walk by my table, instead of the fear, the kind of recoiling that people used to have when they would walk near me. And speaking of Princess Peach, we have to explore Bowser's relationship with Princess Peach. Now, obviously, it's a very cool thing if you're a villain and you kidnap a princess and take her back to your lair. There's not many things that are cooler than that. But also, we add on to the fact that Bowser, we never hear anything particularly bad that he's done to Princess Peach. Princess Peach even does not really act in a way that communicates hatred toward him. So there's this sort of weird dynamic they have between each other, where I would say if they were to meet in different circumstances, it's possible there could be a relationship between Bowser and Princess Peach. Now, that just speaks to Bowser's charisma. let's wrap this all up here. Bowser is just the picture of cool. From those iconic video games that started the Mario franchise, where Bowser's the big bad guy at the end of every level. Even in those, the graphics of that day, they were not too good, I guess you would say. But Bowser still looked just awesome at the end of every level on those original Mario games. He has the angry look on his face. He has the big shell. Even his posture. There's something about the way he walks. The big old arms and hunching over a little bit. That he just looks so incredibly intimidating. Intimidation, coolness, charisma. They all mix together so perfectly to make this character, this dragon dinosaur character of Bowser. And that's another thing, you don't really know if he's a dragon, or if he's a dinosaur, or if he's something else altogether. Now they may say deeper things in the backstory about Bowser, I'm sure, in the booklets or whatever you look at, but I'm just talking from a pure viewer's perspective point of view. You can't really tell. He's sort of a mixture, and that mysteriousness adds to the coolness of everything. So we talked about his angry look, we talked about his shell, we talked about his posture here, we talked about his voice, we talked about Princess Peach. He is just awesome.